Okay, legends, welcome back to the channel with another Overlord, Lord of Nazarick video. Now in this video we have a new update. We have new two characters that dropped into the game. We're gonna talk about them. It's Nigredo and the tank climb. Actually, we're gonna go and check them out. In this video I'm gonna go and just focus on Nigredo first because she's the main unit that we wanna talk about. And she didn't drop with any kind of skins, so we don't have still skins for her. And we have the quest, we can go and actually complete it. And we have the bonfire event with the lizards. We're gonna go and do it after this one. So after I finish this video and I upload this video in 20 minutes or 30 minutes, I'm gonna go and stream. I'm gonna go live. So if you want to join us, and we're gonna go and do this event and gonna go and throughout other accounts and just play around them. So we have the new summons. We have Nigredo, and there's an upgrade for Solution, for Peter, and the new SR Climb. We're gonna go and talk about him in the next video. Climb actually is a tank here, and he will help you a lot. Now we have a better version of him. Now Nigredo, she's a ranger from Emerald faction. It means she counters Sapphire and she gets countered by Garnet. She's an assist character, and she's a turn meter booster for herself, and she's a single target damage dealer, which is a huge unit, and she's a control with inflicting silence. We're also gonna go and talk about that. So here we go. That's Nigredo. Her art looks nice, just similar to the anime, nothing different. Now she's high on attack, she's high on speed, but her problem is she's a glass cannon, low HP, low defense, and very low magical defense. You can counter her with magic. If you're gonna go and upgrade her to maximum, you're gonna see that her speed goes really high, and she's one of the highest attackers in the game, so she hits really hard. So if you can't eliminate the threat with her on the lineup, she can absolutely destroy you. She has high crit rate at 20%. It means if you build her on a set like Vertumari or Termination set, you're gonna go immediately to 35%. Now the build that you want to recognize her on, or you want to build her on, is on crit rate and crit damage strictly. Forget about attack, forget about a reduction or a damage boost. You need her to crit because her crit damage goes insanely crazy, and she already have high base attack, so you want to build her on crit rate and crit damage. Let's talk about her passive first. Her passive is super nice actually. For control team, we're gonna be talking about everything, and yes, you need her Arclight for control team because you want to deal as much damages as possible. So her passive detects an enemy movement and exploit them. At the start of the battle, she's gonna gain an advantage. So increases her assist rate by 15% by normal. So by default, you're gonna assist by 15% regardless if they have gaze or not, okay? So the advantage is randomly inflicts gaze on one enemy for 2 rounds. This is only one enemy for 2 rounds if you have her at 3 stars. When you get her to 5 stars, it goes to 3 enemies for 2 rounds, okay? So at 1 star, you're gonna get it at 1 enemy until you get it to 5 stars, then she's gonna inflict it on 3 enemies. Now, after the target with gaze acts, whatever the act is active. It's not passive. So if you proc any Arclight or if you proc any passives by regeneration, healing, defense, or Henry's goblins, it does not work. It needs to be an active attack or active skill. So when they act actively, Nigredo turn meter is boosted by 15% if they have gaze on themselves. This is why she boosts herself, and she always goes first after you attack with her. Now, we talked about the advantage. If you have it at 5 stars, this is the pivotal point for her, getting her to 5 star. Now, on level 2, when an ally attacks a target with gaze, Nigredo assist rate is increased by 15% more and more, so it will be 30%, and you will go and assist that character. Now, if you build her up more and more, and we skill her level actually to the maximum, she's gonna assist every time on the gaze character, and then she will increase her turn meter by herself. Now, on level 3 and level 4, she increases her turn meter, so after a target with gaze acts, Nigredo turn meter boost by 25%. So no longer it's 15%, it goes up to 25 if you max it. And at level 5, when an ally attacks a target with gaze, Nigredo assist rate for this attack is increased by 30%. It means she will go and assist you as always. Now let's talk about her single target first skill. So these damage equal to 100% of attack, and her attack is huge. Hitting have or grant you a 50% basic chance, which you can increase with EP or decrease with ER on the enemy, to inflict 1 gaze for 1 round. So her first skill is one of her main skills on the lineup. You want to go and hit with her first skill any unit or any enemy unit, and if you have high EP on her, and you can counter her with ER. But if you hit it and they get the gaze, then you can enable her for assist and dealing more damages. And she increases her damages actually to 120% of her attack, not 100% anymore. anymore. At level 4, deals damage equal to 115% of attack, and hitting it grants a 100 basic chance to inflict gaze. So if you build her high on AP, so crit rate, crit damage, and AP is the most thing that you want to build her on, and then she will go and actually increase her chances to have gaze with her first skill. Now, gaze is a debuff that increases Nigredo's turn meter when the gaze target acts. This debuff cannot be purified by any means. It means it will stay until the end of the battle on them, until you kill them, or until the battle finishes or you kill her. So her second skill, deep attack, and it's a cool debuff, and it gives you assist rate up. We're gonna talk about that. So, attacks a single enemy and enhances debuffs. Deals damage equal to 140% of attack. Upon hitting, has a 100 fixed chance to extend. It's fixed chance. It means you can't remove it with ER or anything. You can't counter this. It will do it. It will do it no matter what. The duration of one debuff on the target by 1 round. Prioritizing control debuffs. So she will extend any type of control debuffs. So if you have burn, bleed, anything on their enemies, but you have a silence, taunt, freeze, and stun, she will pick between freeze and stun. Not silence. Before silence, it's freeze and stun, and then it goes to silence. Since the game recognizes that the major controls are stun and freeze, and then the taunt is not considered actually a control. The silence is considered a control in this game. I don't know why, but this is how it goes. So you will, if you play her on a freeze comp, especially with Zaryusu right now, or play it with Demiurge that stuns the enemies, she will go and do that. If they don't have any control, she will pick one of the debuffs and increase it for, if it's for 1 round, for 2 rounds. If it's for 2 rounds, it gets extended for 1 more round. It goes for 3 rounds, which is really, really huge. After the skill, Nigredo gains assist rate up for 2 rounds. So after she does her second skill, she will get her assist rate up by 20%. With the 20% or 25% that she has, it will go to 55%, which is huge. And she will deal extra damages, and it will deal extra damage at 170%. Now, at level 5, if the target is still alive, so if you're gonna do your second skill and you kill the unit, nothing will happen. But if it's still alive, so if the duration of the target debuff is successfully extended with the 100%, which it will be, and the target is still alive, the next attack still have a 50% fixed chance to extend the duration of one debuff of the primary target by 1 round. Of course, if it's a control, it will be prioritized up to 3 times. If it fails, it will no longer extend. So if you extend it the first time, the second time you have a 50% chance. If you don't, it will not be extended and it will fail, and it will continue normally, which is normal actually. When it fails, it fails. But if it does not fail, it will be extended and you can continue rolling up, rolling up. This is specifically good for characters that survives a lot, would have double life, somebody like Valkyrie Shaltir or anybody with Indomitable, that will help you a lot. Now, her ultimate, which is also nice, her ultimate is an AoE, is not a single target, but it mainly does more damage to the target that is the primary one. We'll be talking about it. Tears apart the enemy with scissors, attacking the target and the characters to left and right. So you need to hit in the middle and make sure that there are left and right units to attack them as well. Deals damage equal to 190% of attack to the primary target, and deals damage equal to 135% of attack to other targets left and right, which is huge. It's not a big difference, but the main unit is the one in the middle taking the damage. Hitting, it grants 100 basic chance to inflict silence on the primary target for 1 round. Basic chance, it means you can counter it with EP and ER, or you can play around it. More EP, more chances to silence, more ER on your enemy, less chances for you to silence the enemy. On 4-star, when using a Cursed Stitch, which is the ultimate, nullifies the enemy's sharing, support, and shield wall effect, just like First Seat Black. And this is better than Black, the First Seat, because she actually does AoE. She does more damages than him. He is great with his damages, but this is an upgrade for him. She extends the debuff, she assists, she does many things that he lacks. This is why we put him aside when Nigredo is here. 1 copy of her will be absolutely better than him, but at 4 stars, she started doing the things that allow her to go and actually do what Black does on his own. At 6 stars, hitting the target with gaze grants 30% turn meter boost for herself. It means she can go back to back with hitting those targets, and if she assists, she increases her turn meter. So you might see her just like Aura with increasing her turn meter when she chases. You can use her and Nigredo as you can attack with her ultimate, boost your turn meter, attack with somebody else, she boosts her turn meter and follow them with the assist with the gaze, and then you can have another time to hit with her. And if you play her on something like Vertmar Iset, or if you play her on something like with high crit rate, you might one-shot them or two-shot them by the end of the round, which is absolutely nice. It's 4 rounds. The skill cooldown gets reduced, I think. Yeah, it gets reduced for 1. It's 3 rounds. So with Vert Mario set, you can do it after 2 rounds. So after every single round, you're gonna go and hit, wait a round and hit again if you're lucky to proc it on. Now the damages increase to 230 and 165 to the main target and the sides targets at level 5. This attack crit increased by 20%. Crit rate increased by 20%. After this skill, if the primary target has a control debuff, Nigredo gains crit rate boost for 2 rounds, which will get you 20% crit rate boost. It means she starts with 35%, and you're gonna get the 20%. That's a 55% immediately without having any type of enchantment of crit rate or substats as crit rate. This is why she's a really good solid unit. Now you might ask me, is she a must-have? I wouldn't say she's a must-have. Now, if you're a whale and you don't want to build her and you want to collect, yeah, just get 1 copy of her. If you want to use her for testing, use her at 4 stars. She's right now one of the best characters right now in the game, which will be like everybody, when we drop a new character in the game, it will become the best until another better unit comes up. So she will be one of the meta best units in the game right now, especially if you play her and pair her up with Zaryusu. Both of them are speedy. She gains turn meter. He goes back to back with freezing and disable your entire lineup, and she can allow him to freeze the entire lineup and increase their freeze on them with the debuff with her second skill. And this will be awesome. She has a very good high-tech usage, plus she hits hard and she can absolutely destroy from the start of the battle. We'll be talking about her Arclight now. Again, I'm not saying she's a must-have, but right now she's one of the best units in the game. In the future, I think after a month or 2, if we get those crazy units like Victim, like Zeshi, they will outshine her. You're never gonna use her in the future again, unless you're playing a full comp of speedy units with a little bit of maybe stuns or freeze. Then you can play around it to actually go and win these units. So she goes great with the team stun lock teams, but she silences, does not stun. So she prioritizes silence sometimes instead of stun. It depends on you and your luck if you're playing on that team. Sometimes she prioritizes the silence and you will miss your stuns. So keep that in mind. It's a little bit of RNG. Now let's talk about her Arclight. Her Arclight. Where is my child? She loves children. We know all about that, and you can max it up and you're gonna get assist rate up to 20%, which is huge. And we're gonna talk about the multipliers soon. So when attacking a target with gaze, increase the crit rate of this attack or of this damage by 15%. The crit rate, so 15%, so extra 15% crit rate again, which is really huge for her. For each debuff successfully extended, if you extend 1 debuff, increase crit damage by 7.5, goes up to 15.5 and can stack up. So it can go out and up to 22.5 for 2 rounds, and it can stack up to 45% if you max it out. So 22% is really huge as a crit damage multiplier on her. And as we said, she has a crit damage boost at the start of her stats, actually before you get her to crit damage boost. So crit rate, crit damage, and EP is the most thing that you want to build her on. I would say do not build her on magical defense or HP. Try to find crit rate, crit damage, EP, and reduction to damage. Reduction to damage is absolutely huge on her because it reduces the damages on defense and magical defense. So it will give you reduction to damage no matter what it is, if it's physical or if it's magical. And HP, you and your luck. If you want to play her on HP, that depends on you. But reduction to damage, keep her surviving and play 1 healer on the lineup and she'll be fine. And that's how I can say you can work with her. Now, what's her best sets? I would say the very best set for her is absolutely Termination set. If you're gonna go and play Termination set, you will have to negate 30% of the defense and go and one-shot units. She can absolutely one-shot units, and she gets 15% boost, absolutely huge. She gets 15% crit rate from this set, which is huge for her. The other set you should play her if you don't have this set is Vertmari set. Any other set is bad on her because she needs that crit rate. If you want to play her on full attack, no crit rate, that's up to you, but crit rate is the way to go. So either Vertmari set or the main one, which is Termination set, because she will ignore 30% of the defenses, so it will give you the chance to go and one-shot units. And yeah, that was it for Nigredo, and that's for her skills. Again, I don't say, if you want to summon her, that's up for you. I'm gonna try to pull one for her. just with the 10 multi. If I couldn't get her, I'm not gonna push it over. I'm trying to get one copy of every character when they release it, just for collection wise, just to have them and try to do anything with them, maybe play some fun shenanigans in arena. But again, she's not a must-have right now. She's good. In the future there are better units, so keep yourself with your rings saved. Maybe you want to summon for something else, but she's really good. She's not bad. She goes high on the tier list right now. On the tier list should be she might be on S. In the future, with the releases of different carries that are different synergies that plays with different lineups, she might go to A, then to B. But she's a really solid unit. She, in the future, even you can still play her with control teams, which is absolutely phenomenal. And hey, that was it for the video, and I'll see you on stream.